In the world of UFO encounters, few stories are as terrifying and well documented as the case of Dionisio Llanca, an Argentine truck driver who claimed to have had a disturbing encounter with extraterrestrial beings on October 28, 1973. His story is filled with missing time, mysterious beings, and a harrowing ordeal that left investigators baffled. What truly happened to him that night? Let's dive into one of the most chilling alien abduction cases in history. The ordinary beginning of a strange night. Dionisio Llanca was a 25-year-old truck driver who worked long hours transporting goods across Argentina. On the night of October 27, 1973, he prepared for a long-haul journey from the city of Bahia Blanca to Rio Gallegos. It was a route he had driven many times before, and there was nothing unusual about the trip, at least not at first. Before leaving, Dionisio checked his truck, a yellow Dodge 600, making sure everything was in order. He also stopped at his uncle's house to have dinner. After finishing his meal, he said goodbye and hit the road at 12:30 a.m. on October 28, 1973. Little did he know, he was about to experience something that would change his life forever. The first signs of something unusual. As he drove along Route 3, about 20 kilometers from Bahia Blanca, he noticed something odd in the sky. A strange light appeared behind him, illuminating the road much brighter than his truck's headlights. At first, he thought it was another vehicle, perhaps a large truck with powerful lights. However, as the glow became more intense, Dionisio started feeling uneasy. Suddenly, his truck's electrical systems began to fail. The radio cut out, and the engine started sputtering. Dionisio struggled to keep control of the vehicle. That's when he decided to pull over to check what was happening. As he stepped out of the truck, a blinding light engulfed him, and his entire body became paralyzed. Face to face with mysterious beings. Dionisio later claimed that, at that moment, he saw 3 humanoids approaching him. They were around 6 feet tall, with long blonde hair and glowing eyes. They wore tight-fitting suits that shimmered under the light. According to him, the beings had no visible mouths or ears, and their hands had only 3 fingers. As he stood frozen, completely unable to move, he felt his consciousness fading away. He could barely process what was happening when one of the beings touched his forehead, and he instantly blacked out. Missing time and a terrifying awakening. When Dionisio woke up, he found himself lying on the ground, nearly 10 miles away from where he had last been. His truck was nowhere in sight, and he had no memory of what had happened during the missing hours. Even more disturbing, he noticed that his clothes were torn, and his body felt weak as if he had been drained of energy. Completely disoriented, he wandered aimlessly until he reached a construction site, where workers discovered him. He was unable to speak properly and seemed to be in a state of shock. Seeing his condition, the workers called the police, who took him to the hospital municipal in Bahia Blanca. The medical examination and the hypnotic regression. At the hospital, doctors were baffled by Dionisio's condition. He had no signs of drug or alcohol use, but his vital signs were erratic, and he was unable to recall who he was or what had happened to him. His body showed signs of radiation exposure, and there was a strange scar on his forehead, which doctors could not explain. Over the next few days, Dionisio slowly regained his memory, but still had no recollection of the missing hours. In an attempt to uncover what happened, he agreed to undergo hypnotic regression, a technique often used to retrieve lost memories. Under hypnosis, what he described was truly chilling. The horrifying details of his abduction. Through hypnosis, Dionisio recalled that after he was paralyzed, the 3 beings levitated him into their craft, a massive metallic disc hovering above his truck. Inside, he saw a bright white room filled with strange machinery. The beings placed him on a floating examination table, and he felt a cold, metallic device pressing against his head. According to his recollection, the beings performed various tests on him, including drawing blood and scanning his brain with a glowing orb. He could hear a strange buzzing sound in his ears, and at times, he felt an intense vibration through his body, as if they were manipulating his internal organs. At one point, he claimed to see other human-like figures inside the ship, but they appeared lifeless, as if they were in a deep sleep or under some form of control. Dionisio was terrified but unable to resist. Eventually, after what felt like hours, the beings returned him to Earth, leaving him miles away from his truck, with no memory of the ordeal. The investigation and official reactions. Dionisio's case quickly gained attention in Argentina, drawing interest from ufologists, journalists, and even military officials. Investigators who examined the scene where Dionisio claimed to have been abducted found scorched earth and unusual electromagnetic readings, which some took as evidence that a craft had landed there. However, skeptics argued that Dionisio might have fabricated the story, suffered from a hallucination, or experienced some form of psychological breakdown. Despite this, several independent witnesses came forward, claiming they had also seen strange lights in the sky on the same night as Dionisio's abduction, the lasting effects and his struggle for the truth. Following his experience, Dionisio suffered from chronic headaches, nightmares, and extreme anxiety. He found it difficult to resume normal life and often felt as if he was being watched. He also reported having occasional blackouts and vivid, recurring dreams where he saw the same alien beings observing him. These symptoms are common among alleged abductees, leading some researchers to believe that Dionisio's experience was genuine. Despite the intense media coverage, Dionisio struggled to convince authorities to take his case seriously. While UFO investigators found his testimony credible, government officials and skeptics dismissed his claims, suggesting that he either imagined the event or was seeking attention. This frustrated Dionisio, as he insisted he had nothing to gain from fabricating such a terrifying story. Over time, his health deteriorated, and he became socially withdrawn, avoiding discussions about his experience. Unlike many other UFO cases, Dionisio never attempted to profit from his story, which some argue adds to his credibility. His case remains one of the most mysterious and well-documented UFO encounters in Argentina's history. Theories behind the encounter. Dionisio's case has been the subject of many theories over the years. Some ufologists believe he was genuinely abducted by an extraterrestrial intelligence that performed medical experiments on him. They point to his missing time, unexplained scars, and radiation exposure as potential evidence of an alien encounter. Another theory suggests that he may have experienced a military experiment gone wrong. Some researchers propose that he could have stumbled upon a secret government operation involving advanced technology, leading to a cover-up of the incident. However, there is no solid evidence to support this claim. Skeptics argue that Dionisio may have suffered from a psychological episode, sleep paralysis, or even a fugue state, a rare condition where a person loses memory and wanders aimlessly. However, these explanations fail to account for the physical evidence, such as the scorched ground and the multiple witnesses who saw strange lights that night. Regardless of the explanation, the mystery remains unsolved. The legacy of the 1973 alien encounter. Dionisio Llanca's chilling experience continues to be one of the most compelling UFO cases in Latin American history. It is often cited in discussions about alien abductions, missing time, and government secrecy regarding UFO phenomena. Over the years, the case has been analyzed by ufologists, psychologists, and paranormal researchers, yet no definitive answer has been found. In recent years, the growing interest in declassified UFO documents and reports from military personnel worldwide has reignited curiosity about Dionisio's case. With more governments acknowledging unidentified aerial phenomena, UAPs, some researchers believe that his experience might be re-examined in a new light. Even decades later, Dionisio's story remains one of the most terrifying and enigmatic alien abduction cases ever recorded. Whether his experience was the result of extraterrestrial contact, a military experiment, or an unexplained psychological phenomenon. One thing is certain: he truly believed in what he experienced that night in 1973. And that belief, along with the disturbing details of his story, continues to haunt those who dare to explore the mysteries of the unknown. What really happened? Dionisio Llanca's case is a chilling reminder that some mysteries may never be solved. If his story is true, it raises unsettling questions about extraterrestrial life, alien abductions, and the possibility that humans are being watched and experimented on by beings from beyond our world. But if it was all a hallucination or psychological episode, then what about the missing time, physical evidence, and multiple eyewitness reports? Could he have fabricated such a detailed and terrifying encounter? To this day, no one knows for sure. But one thing is clear: on that eerie night in 1973, something deeply disturbing happened to Dionisio Llanca, and the truth behind his encounter remains hidden in the shadows of the unknown.